Hi everybody. I'm back and talking to myself in the back of the room once again. And yeah, I'm hoping that I'm talking to a few people. So the feedback that I've had on these videos is entirely based on what I'm seeing on YouTube and TikTok and wherever I'm putting this up. So I've got about 10 people I think that viewed the video. Two of them are me. So yeah, and on TikTok there's a couple of people that viewed it. I don't know how many people viewed the other one, but I mean, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with anything. If I can reach one person, I'm happy. So that's how this is gonna go. I'm wearing a cap obviously because my hair's a mess. It doesn't look great. I've got very thin hair, and so the light reflects off the dome, and then it makes the quality look poor. The topic that I chose today is going to be, it's not controversial or anything like that. It's something that isn't spoken about enough in today's time. And it's the fact that there's no bad children. There aren't. There's no such thing as a bad child. Now, somebody might argue with me, and you're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to your experiences in life. You're even entitled to, what your own belief might be. Like, you might genuinely believe that there is such a thing as a bad child. I know there are some people that believe children can be evil. I've heard cases online, if you listen to this true crime stuff, you'll see what 9-year-olds have done, and you'll think, wow, it's bad. So, but yeah, in my genuine opinion, just from what I've observed in my time, that there's no such thing as a bad child. If you look at a baby, or if you look at a little kid, right, there's no such thing as a bad kid, because, and I'm saying it so many times because I genuinely believe this. How do you look at a baby and think that that baby's bad? It's impossible. You can't look at a 5-year-old and think they're bad either. The reality is that everything you know as an adult, they don't know. They're experiencing it for the first time. They are the definition of purity and innocence. So if you think a kid or a baby is a bad child, I don't believe it. I disagree, and I don't think it's right. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because one of the reasons I'm doing this is because I'm hoping to be able to reach a younger generation, or at least the babies of the community, because we live in a time where parents are working very hard. All parents are working very hard. They work double jobs. They work double shifts. They work tirelessly to provide their children with a very good quality of life. And what is left out in that process is the fact that the kids don't have as much one-on-one time. I was very appreciative of all the time I spent with my parents growing up, and the time that I still do get to spend with my family up till now. My fondest memories are all the things I did that were exciting as a kid with my parents, not the stuff that I did in school, not the stuff that I did with friends. No, it was the stuff that I did with my family. Kids are just being kids. You can't expect adult behavior from a kid. Expecting adult behavior from a kid makes no sense. It's a kid. It's supposed to be a kid. It's supposed to be misbehaved. It's supposed to be upset. It's supposed to be unable to control its emotions. That is the definition of being childish. It's just not doing the mature thing, not doing the adult thing. When adults walk into a room and then they expect the children to behave like militant and very obedient. Everything needs to be, exactly the way they expect an adult to be. No, you're wrong. Then you need to have a room full of adults for that kind of experience, not children. And if you don't have the temperament or the calmness to tolerate this from the babies, then I don't think you're giving yourself a chance to develop as a person, and you're not giving them a fair chance to be children. You should not tell a child to not have fun and to not laugh and to not play. If you tell the child there is a time to do those things and you give them time to do that thing, then yes, you're doing the right thing. But if you make the child genuinely feel like it's a crime to have fun, then you've killed whatever joy that child had. Because one thing adults love doing is saying, oh yeah, back in the day this, and oh, when we were younger that, and remember the glory days. Well, you've just robbed your children of that glory day if you stop them from doing the happy things in life. And everything a child does is a happy thing. They don't mean to do wrong, and children just don't know when it's wrong until you tell them. The manner and how you tell your child they did the wrong thing is what is going to affect how they react to you in the future when they do something wrong. Either they're going to tell you they're not, or they're going to feel good about it or they're not, or they're going to continuously do that behavior. There are children who will repeatedly do the wrong thing because the only time they're getting attention from their parents is when they're being reprimanded. As a parent, as a family member, as a friend, when you're doing anything with a baby or a child, make sure you do it in a good, positive manner. Don't shout at them. Shouting does not make people understand. Shouting does not make adults understand. I do not understand how people think they can shout at a child or beat a child. You beat an adult, you go to jail. You can do it's assault. And you can beat somebody as a last resort. It's never something that is done to teach somebody a lesson. So when you beat your babies, what are you trying to teach them? Is that your last resort then? I don't get it. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It shouldn't be done. And there is no child or toddler or baby that needs to be beaten or vulgarly spoken to or verbally abused in order for them to understand. I genuinely believe that is terribly wrong. Everything a child experiences from the time they're born, they're experiencing for the very first time in their life. You have had, if you're as old as I am, you've had 35 years on this world to say, okay, I've been through all of this and I know what's right and wrong. And by the way, I'm still learning. If you don't think you're learning, you're a hypocrite. You can genuinely believe that you were mature. I know I'm the same as I was when I was 16 years old up till now. I have not changed much as a person. I'm the same stubborn, abrupt, direct, straightforward person that I've always been. Keep to myself, that kind of guy. I've been that way my whole life, right? But one thing I'm aware of, and I'm consciously aware of, is that I'm still a student of life. My parents, for example, throughout their entire time when they raised me, we're learning. I'm at the age where my folks would have had 3 kids. I haven't had 1 kid yet, But I've had so much experience with so many kids, and that I look at them all the time and I think to myself, my gosh, these are little babies, and we're all babies. We're all still growing up, and it's frightening. So when you look at how we behave and how the adults of society are behaving, adults of society are very misbehaved in the modern day. So what happens is you have these little kids that are experiencing things for the first time. Don't expect them to get it right. You can't get it right yourself. It's just the truth. They need love and they need care. They don't need any type of abuse. Just love and care. You know very well that your child was created, in most cases, out of love and care. Do not rob them of this experience of life. If your child had the ability to only know one thing, if it had the exposure to negativity, that's fine. If it is a fraction of what they experience, then good. You have to have a balance. However, we always try to, as human beings, tip the scale in the favor of positivity. And so children, we always try to make sure they are guarded and protected and loved and taken care of. As a parent, it is very important that you do that. Whether it is in giving them at home attention or in education or just love. Love is the basic. You start with love and then you build on that. If you do everything, and I've said this, if you do anything and you do it with the foundation of love, you can't really go wrong. If you think love means beating somebody, you have a very, very different understanding of what it means to love somebody. And I feel terrible for your children. I have gone on the beginning of this to tell you that the babies are the definition of innocence and purity. They haven't done anything wrong. That child that's learning everything for the first time, environment is everything. You can grow up in a box, and you can grow up in a bubble, and you can grow up in a pyramid because you're the daughter or the son of some Egyptian king. The child in the box will always might be better, because if it's a peaceful box and it's a soft box and it's a comfy box, that child's going to have a very, very soft, gentle life. It might not have the freedom that the child of the king has or the queen has. It doesn't matter. That the child that grew up in war, for example, will never be the same as a child that has grown up in comfort and love and doesn't know violence and destruction. That is the level of positivity that you want to put out into the world. And it starts at home. It really does start at home. If you think that as a parent it is difficult, yes, life is difficult. Life is difficult for everybody. Nobody knew 20 years ago when they had a child that we would go through genuinely almost 4 recessions now. Nobody knew that. Nobody plans for those worst things. Or at least we don't expect the worst things to happen. We plan for these things in hope that we've done enough. And then when time comes, you've got to keep it together, because the little ones can't keep it together. COVID was a very good example. When you have children up till today that walk up to a dispenser in excitement thinking that they're going to get hand sanitizer out of that thing. There were babies who only knew that kids wore masks when they saw them. There were no children that, we went to school. We knew how rotten everyone's teeth were. They're just pure and they're innocent. They don't know. Be good parents and be good people. When a child can't understand something, it's our duty to help them and to explain it to them and to not judge them. They're children. Don't criticize them. They don't know right from wrong until you tell them that is wrong. Human nature is a very specific thing. Just the way you get good and bad people, those are behaviors that are taught to people. In the same way with your pets, people have so much of love for their pets. They know that's a bad dog, but they'll tell you, oh no, it's not a bad breed, it was bad owner and it was bad training. Well, your children are the same, and they are more precious than your pets. Human life is the most precious thing in this world, and if we have the compassion and the care and the understanding for a bad pet and a bad owner, then please understand, if you apply that mentality towards your children, then there's no bad kids. There's only bad environments and bad upbringing and poor education for this kid. And education starts at home. Your parents are your first teachers. They are the ones that teach you right from wrong. They are the ones that teach you good and bad. They are the ones that teach you discipline. They are the ones that teach you everything. So what you choose to expose your kid to is going to be very, very, very important. And this is common sense I'm speaking. This is not something that you need to go and read up on. This is your nature. You have a natural, you are compelled as a being to protect your babies and your loved ones. Everyone is, whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, whether you're a rock, it doesn't matter. You have the ability and the natural ability and the natural intuition to say, I'm going to protect and look after what is mine. That is why whenever somebody doesn't do that in society, we look at them and we think, wow, this person really fell off the wagon. You know, they haven't done anything. They haven't done anything right. That brings me to the last thing I want to talk about, is that family is everything. Your family unit is everything. And in the modern day, people think very irrationally. And this is not just today, by the way. I'm being unfair to modern society. Back in the day, and I'm talking not back in the day in 2010, I'm talking back in the day like in the 70s and the 50s, and people had big families, very big families, and the idea was life was good back then. You could have your kids and you'd work it out down the line. Not anymore. Nowadays you have one kid and you hope that you can give it everything because life is tough. The family is not as big anymore. It's a smaller family now. People move overseas. People have divorces and separations. People don't necessarily in the modern day get married anymore traditionally. They just have children and they have large families, and that's acceptable by society. That is just a society we live in. There's nothing wrong with that. That is their personal choice. However, when people are making these decisions to have these lifetime, by the way, changes, you can't undo it once you have a child. Once you have a child, it is up to you to provide family for their child. And it cannot be done without the presence of both parents. And sometimes a child might not have both parents. Sometimes a child might only have one parent. And it is not your duty to be both parents to your child. You can't do that. You are not Superman or Superwoman. You are not even super parent. Okay? People say that to make themselves feel nice about what they're doing. Your child doesn't really know the difference. They only know you. They will never understand you. You know who you were when you were 5, and you know who you were when you were 13. And trust me, you definitely don't know who you are right now. You're still trying to relive and avoid aging too fast. Okay, this is just the reality of it. Everybody is running away from getting old and trying desperately to stay young. So do not rob your babies of their youth and their family, because the modern day family doesn't exist anymore. It exists in the sense that they can say we're related, but family isn't what it used to be. I'm lucky in that my family is very close, and we try everything to be supportive, and we try to be as supportive and present and accommodating towards each other, towards our needs, towards our basic attention, towards our individuality, because in your home, you're one family, but you're still an individual. And everybody, all these little cogs and wheels in that home need to work in order to make sure things go smoothly. It doesn't always go smoothly. No family is perfect. Mine isn't. Okay, I'm not even perfect. Nobody is. Everybody has flaws. It is within those flaws and in us trying to fill in those cracks that help us shape and mold who we are as people. And if you ask a child what family is to them, they'll just tell you mom, dad, brother and sister, or their grandparents. They're not going to go and talk about extended family. They just know what they know. They might even, their best friend in school, who was their best friend last week, and a week is a lifetime to a child. Next week, they might not even know who that person is anymore. That's how innocent and pure kids are. And if as a parent, you make the initiative to give your child a sense of family first and give your child a sense of home. You don't have to have a big family and you don't have to have a big home. You just have to create that environment within that home and the environment within that family. It can either be a chaotic one or it can be a peaceful one. And 99% of the time, the peaceful one is the one that works out. It is often the soft children who grow up in homes of peace that will seek out violence first because they don't know the consequences of their violent actions. Whereas when you look at kids who are grown up in turmoil and they do anything wrong, people will be like, oh yeah, it's because they grew up in a violent home. No, that's not the case. They genuinely know. If you don't have the heart and you don't have the compassion and you don't have the understanding, then you are just not creating the best environment for your child. And with family, it is important to know that having a child does not make you a family. You can be a family without having a child. Being a family is very, very, very easy and to do and very, very difficult to do well. When you have a child, you have only expanded that family. That's all you've done. You've made it bigger. And in making it bigger, it is your choice how strong you want to make it. Everything we do in life that we do too large often goes out of control very quickly because we cannot control it. You are the sculptor of your family. It's your artwork at the end of the day. Nobody's going to like it. It's just the reality. What you think is good and someone else might not. We don't care what they think. What you care about is what your family is, what your art is, what it means to you. Use a sculptor. Build it the way you want it to. Don't say, okay, I need to make my family like this person or that person or the other. No, don't worry about what's happening in their home. They'll never tell you. They will never tell you. Their kids will not tell you. Their kids might tell you. They might be, an oversharer, or they might tell you, but most of the time you're not gonna know. You only know what's happening in your house because all you can control is what's in your home. So when you have a child that is not understanding, talk to them in a calm way. Help them understand. If your child can't learn something, your child is not slow. Your child does not have ADHD, like everyone very quickly says. This child is a delinquent and this child is hyper. No, it's a child. It's being a child. It might lack discipline because maybe it wasn't enforced when it was growing up. It might lack obedience because it was never taught. It might lack understanding because maybe it's just developing at a different rate of other children. Not everyone can be a sprinter. Not everybody can be a doctor. Not everybody can be the politician. Not everybody can be a successful businessman. And not everybody's going to break world records. Every kid is different. Make the initiative as a parent to understand and take the knowledge that there are no bad students, especially when it comes to your child. There are only bad teachers. Just the way there are somebody who cannot get through to their kid, you get another teacher that can get through their kid. If your child goes to a tutor to learn something, the teacher was doing the exact same thing at school. The child wasn't able to learn. If the child couldn't learn because they were busy with their friends, then the child has a discipline issue. What's happening in the classroom with their friends is clearly is more important than what's happening with the teacher and what they're trying to teach them. You have to be able to get through to your children. If your class gets too big, you can't give all your kids attention, so then you're going to lose them. The same thing happens with the family. If the family gets too big, your class of children is going to suffer as a result, and you won't be able to be there even for one child all the time. That's just the reality. It's a fact of life, but you do your best and you try your best, and that is why we must not be so quick in the modern day to say they are bad children. And because people are really bashing the children of modern society, they don't give anybody a chance anymore. And we live in a generation of people where the families have gotten significantly smaller. It is quite rare to find a family where there's more than one child nowadays. It's getting difficult to find those families. 2 seems to be the cap, and if you find someone with 3 kids, it's a bit like, how are they doing it? So I hope this reaches somebody. If you've made it to the end of this video, then I don't expect you to agree with me. Please take everything I say with a grain of salt. A good argument that someone could make is that I don't have a child of my own, and so I should not speak on the topic. However, a doctor does not need to have cancer in order to attempt to cure it. Nor does somebody who is a curator of fine artwork need to be able to sculpt or paint the masterpiece in order to know that it is valuable to somebody. We, as human beings, have the ability to understand and appreciate things that we are not by ourselves the maker of what it is. In the same way that I can show the same love and affection to somebody who is outside of my home, I do not have to be their brother or their father or their husband or their son. I just have to be understanding to their situation and accommodating towards them. So please, if you disagree with me, that's fine. That is your prerogative. You don't need to agree with everything I say. You might have agreed with only one thing. That's all that matters. Even if this reaches one person and that one person is able to agree with me, then I'm very happy, because I'm not trying to change the world by anything, I'm just trying to share my opinion on this, because sometimes people need to hear this. And having known this for quite some time, it's unfair to all of you that I keep it to myself. So I hope that everybody who has stayed to the end of the video likes it or shares it or comments on it or follows me or subscribes, because these are discussions that are very difficult to have. We are having fewer of these discussions, and they are always done in an air of debate or argument or with an agenda pushed behind them. There's no agenda behind what I'm doing to tell you this. I don't need a religion. I don't need a political affiliation. I don't need an ideology, nor do I need a degree to tell you to be a good parent. You just don't need those things, okay? You don't need those things to be a good human being. It is human nature, and I am a human being, as are you. If we have a platform to share, we should share positivity. And so the positivity that I wish to share, which is the first video that I am posting officially on my channel, is to tell people that there's no bad kids out there. They're good kids. They've had bad experiences. They've had unfortunate situations in life where it affected them in a negative way. And so then these kids became disturbed. They've become turbulent in their thoughts and in their emotions. And we don't want that to happen to them. We want them to be good people. We want them to be comfortable. We want them to feel safe. We want them to feel loved. And we want them to feel accepted. So if I could leave you with anything today, is to understand that if you do everything with the foundation of love, your kids are going to come out okay in the end. And nothing is so far gone that it can't come back. I've seen people come back from the dead, so everybody can come back, you know. And I hope this reaches someone out there, and I hope somebody is inspired by what I'm saying to actually go out and share this message. Share it with yourself. Make your own video, put your own word out there, and start spreading the words of family and adhesion in your home. You need those kinds of things. You don't want those things to fail away as society goes. You want your strength in your values and your morals, and you want your children to continue those respects and those values and those morals without the influence of anything. You want their genuine, good, kind nature to show first above all else, and you want them to be able to love and enjoy life. If they everywhere they look, they're only going to see negativity. It's very easy to put on blinders, but I would rather avert their attention to something that is happier than to blind them to the realities of life. Yes, something negative might be happening here, but on the other end, there's something positive. And if you can show them that positivity, then your child will obviously learn that there's positivity in life. And the origin of that positivity was in their home, with their family, and with the people that love them. Thank you for listening if you've made it to the end. And in the next video, it's going to be something completely different. Have fun. Go speak to your children. And if you're a child and you're watching this, be kind to your parents. They're trying very hard to make things work for you. And they do it whether they like you or not. Just because you're the child doesn't mean you're likable. You could be unlikable. You can love someone and not like them. That's just the reality of life. But when you're upset with your mom, you slam the door. When you're upset with your dad, you just give him a stiff look. You don't talk to him. You walk up to them and tell them you're hungry. They will get up no matter how upset they are and make you a plate of food. They will still give you a home, and they'll still be there for you. So, be nice to them. Not everybody has the best parents. I can guarantee you that. People are human. They make mistakes. But if you have a little bit of time, you have a very little bit of time on this world. Nobody's going to live forever. Not me, not you. And what you do with that time really matters. You're going to chase a career and you're going to chase money, and all those things are very quickly, if you're learning in life, those things become meaningless very quickly. Money could be worth a lot today, and tomorrow it could be gone because you still have it in your bank. It's just worth nothing. Your family's going to be everything to you. So please understand, there are no bad children. There are no bad babies. It's just they have a lack of understanding and attention and love. So please subscribe. Please like my video. Please share my video. Please comment on my video. Please engage with me. Inbox me. If you have questions, ask me. I'm here. I'm here to talk. I'm here to share. This is nothing but just a fun video. I have no intention of this growing into anything. It is just me putting out my positivity for everybody. So thank you for watching.